Have you ever wondered how some of the best AI films online are actually getting made?
A luxury hotel king stands accused of vanishing his biggest rival. ADA Gene wants a conviction, even without a body. But with Mr. Goodman leading the defense, anything can happen.
Mr. Goodman, what do you have to say on the Wilbur case victory?
Well, after spending the last couple of weeks figuring out the exact workflow, I finally made it work and put together a full Hollywood-style short film completely with AI. That's why in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact 4-step process I use to make a cinematic AI film from scratch, so you can too. And so the most important step of this entire process that will actually make your films look good is planning out the entire movie, because most AI films online are getting made on the go. Nothing is really planned out, and that's why most of them actually turn out pretty bad. The characters are not fully locked in, the dialogue is kind of random, and anything and everything just doesn't look as good as it could be. The reason for that is because nobody plans their films out before they start generating. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is open up Claude and start a brand new conversation. Now I'm going to go ahead and paste this huge prompt right here. And don't worry, I'll leave everything down in the description below so you can actually grab it and use it yourself. Now what this prompt will do is basically tell Claude to act as our creative director for the entire film. The only thing you need to fill in is the story brief at the very top, which is just a couple of sentences describing the concept. And that's it. Now for this video, I'm going to go with a cinematic legal drama. It's going to be a luxury hotel magnate accused of making his rival disappear in the trial of a decade at the New York Supreme Court. Now once everything is done, I'm going to go ahead and click send, and this is what we get back. So this is the plan for the entire film. The full story with title, setting, and tone, and every character profile with all the wardrobe and personality details. I also get an asset list of every character, prop, and location we need to generate, as well as a generation plan. So instead of just jumping into this and trying to figure out everything on the go, you basically get a shopping list of all the stuff you need to make so that your film can turn out the best way possible. Which brings us to the second step, which is actually building out the assets that the rest of the film is going to be built around. And so that is generating every single character, prop, and location our film is going to need before we generate anything. So I head over to Higgsfield, and the reason I'm going to be using Higgsfield is because of the tool called Cinema Studio 3.5. This is by far one of the best tools tailor-made for creating films with AI. So if you want to go ahead and follow along for this leg of the process, I'll drop the link to Higgsfield down below. Now once in, we're going to jump into the image section and select GPT Image 2 as the model. Now this model is made by OpenAI, and it is built specifically for rendering ultra-detailed, very realistic images, which is exactly what we need for very, very good high-quality cinematic assets. Now these settings we're going to be using are really universal and super simple. So we're going to be using 2K resolution across every single asset just so that we get that really nice high-quality feel. Then we use 16:9 for the actual aspect ratio. And then the key about how we're going to build the characters, because that's what we lock in first, is that we're going to build them in character sheets with a 3-panel structure. So each character gets a single image with 3 views, a full body front, then a full body back, and finally a pretty close-up of their face. Now this will give the video models we'll use later basically everything they need to keep the character looking super consistent from every single angle, no matter how this scene turns out. So the first one I'll start off with is going to be the judge. I'll go ahead and paste in this prompt right here. All the settings are already locked in. So I'll hit generate, and here is what we get back. Now this is honestly a very, very cool image. As you can see, we have the 3-panel structure going from all 3 angles. And so I'll go ahead and save that image so we have it for all future references. Then we'll do the same thing with our second character, which is going to be Amelia Jean. Again, pasting in my prompt. I'll click generate, and here is the result. Again, this looks cool. We have the panel structure going, making sure that the video model actually has everything it needs. Finally, I'll do Yuri Goodman. Now this is actually a little bit different because I want him to look like me, so I'll upload 2 reference images. First, one of my face and one of the suit he'll be wearing throughout the film. And again, pasting in the prompt. And here's the result. This looks super clean. Now moving over to the location. So the first one is going to be the judge's bench. So similarly to all of the last ones, I'll go ahead and drop in the prompt. Here is the result. This looks pretty impressive. I absolutely love how the overall environment and aesthetic is turning out. Then I'm going to repeat that for the defense bench, and then again for the prosecution bench. This also comes out looking nice. Now we can get the props done. So I'll go ahead and drop in this prompt right here. And here we get Yuri Goodman's briefcase. And then finally, we'll drop in this prompt right here and get the suit done as well. And just like that, we have our entire cast, locations, and props. And we are ready to jump into the coolest part of this process. Here we'll be turning all the assets we've just made into the individual scenes that will make up the actual film. So inside Cinema Studio, we're gonna go ahead and jump over to the video generation section and make sure that we have Seedance 2.0 selected as the model. Now this is a very good model for anything that has to do with movies. It is extremely good with angles, actual detail, and really high quality video, so it will handle everything that we need for a really high quality film. So these settings are again going to be pretty simple, but nevertheless, it's pretty important to get them right the first time, so you don't have to mess with anything later. So the resolution is going to be 1080p, and the aspect ratio is 16:9. Now here's where all the hard work in the previous step actually is going to pay off. So every single scene we're going to be generating from here references the image tags we've locked in earlier. So if a scene needs Yuri Goodman in a suit sitting at a defense bench, I can just reference those exact images in the prompt, and Seedance will pull all of that into the scene with perfect consistency. Now for the prompt itself, it comes in two different formats, and the first one is going to be the paragraph prompt, which is just supernatural language describing what happens in the scene. But because we really want to have that good control of everything that'll happen, we're going to add one extra step to that, which is converting it into a JSON prompt. Obviously, no one is born with knowing how to write JSON prompts, so I'm gonna go ahead and head over to this website right here. It is completely free. You just paste in your email address and it'll give you access to the website and allow you to turn any pure casual language prompts into JSON prompts, giving the AI all of the stuff that it needs in a language that it understands with a lot more detail. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and do that with every single one of my prompts so that I have everything prepared. And now we are actually ready to start generating. So the process here is really simple. You just grab your prompt, it already has everything locked in, you pop it inside the prompt box, click generate, and here's what we get back. Now this honestly looks cool as a first generation, so let's go ahead and drop the second one as well. And this one comes out looking amazing as well. Now this is the part of the process where you kind of are doing the same stuff over and over again. So I'm gonna go on and complete the rest of the generations. And here's what we end up with. I have all of my videos locked and saved, basically almost ready to be assembled. But we are still missing one crucial step. So let's go ahead and handle that now. We're going to be generating the voiceover and putting everything together into the final film. So in Higgsfield, you wanna go ahead and head over to the audio tab. Now funny enough, it's still all inside one single platform. Just another reason for why I love using Higgsfield for anything like that. It just makes your workflow super efficient. Here you want to select ElevenLabs v3 as the voice engine, because that's the model that will give you the most natural sounding voices in the entire AI space right now. And for this film, the only scene that really needs voiceover is the opening montage where the city watches the news. So I'll pick a male voice with a pretty confident news anchor delivery and paste in the voiceover script that Claude wrote me back in step 1. With that done, let's go ahead and generate. And after a few seconds, we get this nice voiceover that fits well over the city montage.
Today, Manhattan watches the trial of the decade. A luxury hotel king stands accused of vanishing his biggest rival. ADA Gene wants a conviction, even without a body. But with Mr. Goodman leading the defense, anything can happen.
I'll download it as an MP3, then jump into CapCut to put together the final assembly. Here, you just want to make sure that you're dropping everything in the correct order, adding the voiceover. There's no extra editing needed because Cinema Studio 3.5 handles all of that during the generation. Here's the final result.
Today, Manhattan watches the trial of the decade. A luxury hotel king stands accused of vanishing his biggest rival. ADA Gene wants a conviction, even without a body. But with Mr. Goodman leading the defense, anything can happen.
Mr. Goodman, what do you have to say on the Wilbur case victory?
Mr. Goodman, good to have you with us.
Lordship, apologies for the delay. As you may know, I was dealing with the Wilburg stuff.
It's fine, Mr. Goodman. We are all aware of your tales. In fact, I myself am somewhat of a fan of yours.
Mr. Goodman seems to have fans everywhere he goes.
Miss Jean?
Well, well. Mr. Goodman, I hope you're ready to lose today.
Silence!
I guess we have had enough chit-chatting. Well, about time we begin with the trial.
It looks absolutely phenomenal, and it honestly is crazy how fast we were able to get that result. And the craziest part is that every single tool we use today lives inside one single platform. Higgsfield is the only place where you can actually run the entire production pipeline, from images to video to audio, without ever needing another subscription or tool. So go ahead and sign up to Higgsfield using my link down in the description below. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one.